Hello students, welcome back to another class of social science. And today we will be continuing with the chapter that we have started in the previous session. Okay. Now in the previous class we have already started with your chapter 9, that is transport and communication. And in the previous class we have discussed about the transport part. So today in this session we will be discussing about communication. Okay, communication. Now, when I say communication, you all know what we meant by communicating, isn't it? Or communication. Some of you may be thinking that communication means talking to one another, and that is also correct, okay? Now, this communication, this has been classified, okay? It has been classified into two parts. One is called as the personal communication, and the second one is called as the mass communication, okay? Personal communication means we are talking about personal, you, ourselves, myself, okay? Mass communication, we are talking about everyone, the whole world, so to say. Okay, so those are the two divisions of communication, okay? One is called personal communication, the other one is mass communication. Now, when we come to personal communication, okay? Personal communication, it means where you write letters, okay? You write letters and so on. So those are called as personal communication, or when you try to talk to another person verbally, okay? So all these are to do with personal communication. But when you come to mass communication, okay? Mass communication, in mass communication also again it is divided into two parts. We can divide it into two parts, okay? One is called as the print media, okay, and the other one is called as the electronic media. So mass communication can also be divided into two: print media and electronic media, okay? So when we say print media means we are talking about books, okay? Books, it can be your textbook, the novels, the comics, magazines, okay? Newspapers, all those are called as print media, okay? Now coming to this electronic media. Electronic media, the best example will be how we are communicating now, how I'm able to take class for you online, isn't it? So these are called as electronic media, okay? So this mass communication, it is very, very important. It is very important because by the name mass communication, it means it can reach out to thousands and thousands of people. It is reaching out to thousands and thousands of people. So that is why it is called as the mass communication. Mass means very big, isn't it? So that is what we meant by mass communication, okay? So as I've said, print media means newspapers, magazine, books and all. Electronic media means we are talking about radio, television, okay? Then to do with your this thing, films, all those movies and all, okay? Then to do with our internet, and as I've said, how we are able to communicate now, okay? So these are called as the electronic media. So those are the two type of mass media, okay? And this mass communication, okay? Mass communication, it is very, very important. In the beginning, we have discussed that transport and communication have made the world into a global village, isn't it? Because the reason why is because now we are able to communicate with one another. From one place to another place, we can do it easily. For example, okay, traveling and communication. Now, if you want to talk, okay, now in the present day, if you want to talk to a friend, let's say your friend is staying in America, you are in India. If you want to talk to them, if you have all those proper connection and all, within a minute, you can do it, isn't it? Those days, I'm sure all of you must have seen that movie, okay? We used to talk about it. That is Jackie Chan's movie where he took 80 days to go around the world. I'm sure you must have seen it, isn't it? So that was those days, okay? Now, in the present day, we can do it within a day, okay? We don't need to take 80 days. We can do it within a day also. So these are all the reasons why people say that the world is shrinking, okay? The world is getting smaller. And as we have discussed, transport and communication, they complement one another, okay? They complement one another. They need to go together. Both of them, they need one another. Okay, alone they cannot do much, but together they can do lots of things. So that is what we meant by transport and communication. They complement one another. Okay, so that is to do with communication. But as always, we will just do a little recap. Okay, so we have already discussed this chapter. Okay, chapter 9, transport and communication. And in the last session, we have discussed about transport. When we say transport, we are talking about the roadways. Okay, and in the roadways also, we have discussed that the roadways are classified into different parts, into, we can say, into 6 main parts. Okay, roadways are classified into 6 parts. Okay, one is called as the superhighways. So superhighways means we are talking about those roads which connect the major cities in the country, that is Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata and Chennai. So those roads are called as the superhighways. Then we have also discussed about the national highways. National highways means those highways that are connecting the different states in the country. Okay, they are called as the national highways. And these highways, they are maintained and looked after by the central department, public work department. Okay, then we have also discussed about the state highways. State highways means those roads which are connecting the capital with the district, okay, with the different district. Those are called as the state highways, and these roads are maintained and looked after by the state. Okay, then we have also discussed about the district highways or district roads, so to say. So district roads means we are talking about those roads which are connecting the district with the villages, okay, with the different villages. So those are called as the district roads, and these roads are maintained, they are looked after by the Zilla Parishad. Okay, then we have also discussed about the border roads. Border roads means we are talking about those borders which are running on the border of the country. Okay, so those are there. Then apart from that, we also have one which is called as the other roads. Okay, other roads means we are talking about those roads which are connecting the different villages. Okay, so those are the different roads or the different roadways that we have discussed in this chapter. Okay, then apart from these roadways, we have also discussed about railways, isn't it? Railways. Okay, railway is very important for India, especially India, because of the population. Okay, because in train, okay, it can carry thousands of people, and that is why it is very convenient for the people. Okay, then we have also discussed about the waterways. Waterways means we are talking about the boats, the canoes, ships and whatnot. Okay, and this waterways, it is again considered as the oldest and the cheapest means of transportation. Okay, and this is very useful. It is very useful for people, especially to transport from one place to another place, especially to do with the seaport and so on. Okay, then we have also discussed about the airways. Airways means we are talking about the flight, that is the aeroplane or helicopters and whatnot. Okay, so those, as we have discussed before, okay, it is very expensive. The airways is very expensive, but then it is very comfortable. Comfortable plus it is the fastest. Okay, it is the fastest means of transport again. So all those we have discussed in this chapter. Then we have also discussed about the advantages and disadvantages of all the transportation, isn't it? Some are good for the people, some are not that good, and the reason will be because of the maintenance. Okay, we are not being that is the government or the people or those who are in charge, they are unable to look after it properly, and that is why it causes problems for the people. When it comes to roadways, we have discussed that many roads are unmetalled, isn't it? They are not metalled, and so during rainy season, it becomes very difficult for the people to travel on it. Then we have also discussed that roadways are inadequate. Okay, inadequate means it is not sufficient. Okay, we don't have sufficient roads in a country. And the reason is because of the villages. Some of the villages, they don't have roadways connecting them, isn't it, with other village. They have to travel by foot in order to reach their village and so on. So those are the disadvantages. Okay, so all these things we have discussed about that. Then we have also discussed, apart from this transportation, okay, or the roadways, waterways, airways, railways, we have also discussed one topic which is in your textbook. It is written as the pipelines, isn't it? So pipe, you all know what a pipe is. So when we say pipeline, it is written that this is the new addition to our modes of transport list. This is the latest edition, and the reason why is, those days, okay, this pipeline, it was used to transport water from one place to another place. But now, instead of transporting water, what they do is, apart from transporting water, it also transport other things, okay, which are very, very important. All those natural gas, everything is being transported through this pipeline, okay, even to do with the most important one, that is petroleum. Okay, all these petroleum are transported from one place to another place through this pipeline and so on. So this have become very, very important. Okay, and that is why it has been included, or it has been added into the transport part. But then, as I've said, it also has its advantages and disadvantages. Okay, the advantages is, it can be laid anywhere, okay, whether it is on the land or in the water, it can be done. So it is very accessible, it is very easy. Okay, then it also says that it reduces the wastage. Okay, there is less waste because everything is running through the pipe, isn't it? So if there is no leakage, then nothing is going to be spilled or waste. So that is also one advantages. Okay, then another one is, it reduces transshipment losses and delays. Okay, there is no problem of getting it like being it delayed, because everything is running smoothly. Okay, so all these are advantages of this pipeline. Okay, but then there are also demerits, that is disadvantages, and that is to do with the cost of laying the pipeline is very high, it becomes very expensive. Okay, then there is also danger of leakage. Okay, it can come out. Then political problem, if the pipeline passes through another country. If you are going to construct the pipe connecting the countries, okay, then you have to get permission from the other countries also. So that is also another problem. Okay, another disadvantages of pipeline. Okay, then there is also danger of sabotage. Sabotage means where people, they try to spoil it. Okay, they try to break it down. Those are called as sabotage. Okay, then we also have this land use restricted. So land use restricted, what we meant is, in some area it would be allowed, but some area the people, they may not be willing to give their land. So that is to do with restriction. And in such cases, there is going to be a problem again, isn't it? So those are the disadvantages or the problems that are faced by the pipeline. Okay, then we have also discussed about communication, as we have done in this session, isn't it? So communication is very, very important, because living in a society, we need to communicate with one another, we need to talk with one another. Plus, on top of that, we need to respect one another, isn't it? Since we are living in a society. So all these comes to communication. Then talking about communication, we need to know, and we need to respect it also. Okay, that is, we need to know how to use it, because right now every one of us, okay, all of you, that is all the students, we are able to communicate through this electronic media, and almost all of you, you have access to your mobile phone. Okay, now here in this topic, okay, I just want to point out something to you, and that is, many of you, you are misusing it. Okay, misusing it means, I'm not talking about you not knowing how to use your phone, but here I'm talking about you not knowing how to use it. how to use it in the sense, we call it as the phone etiquette, okay? When to use it, how to use it, and so on. Now, many times we have come across, because right now we are having online classes, we are having giving online exam and so on. And I've noticed, many of the teachers, we have noticed that when you want to, that is the students, okay, you students, if you want to ask something from the teacher, okay, if you want to know something from the teacher, what you can do is, the first thing, the first etiquette is, write your name, okay? I'm this and this, okay, and I want to know this, or may I know this. But first you need to let your teacher know your name. That is the first etiquette. Because some of you, what you do is, you will just write, please send me this, or give me the notes of this and that, isn't it? Some of you, you are doing that. So this is what I meant by you not knowing how to use it, okay? So you need to learn it by now, because right now all of you, you have access to it, isn't it? So all these are to do with communication, okay? So communication, it is very, very important. Communication, it has been divided into two parts, that is personal communication and mass communication. Personal communication means we are talking about the personal things, okay? Then mass communication, again, when we say mass communication, this mass communication, again, it can be classified into two, which is called as the print media and this electronic media, okay? So print media means, print means something that is written, isn't it? So print media means we are talking about these books, okay, magazine, newspapers, all these are called as print media, okay? Then when we come to electronic media, we are talking about this radio, television, okay, your phone, internet, all these are called as print media, and together they are called as mass media, okay? Mass media, because they are able to reach out to thousands of people, to a huge number of people, because mass means very big, something very big, okay? So that is to do with this communication. So we have finished the chapter of transport and communication in this session. I hope you have understood that far, okay? As always, please make sure you read your textbook. You have to read your textbook. You're in class 10, okay? You'll be appearing for metric. So by any means, you need to know the content in your textbook, because especially to do with MCQ, okay? MCQ means multiple choice question, isn't it? So MCQ and the short notes, it can come from anywhere within the content, okay? Don't just rely on those questions which are there at the end of the chapter, because in the exam, it can come from anywhere in the content. So as always, please make sure you read your textbook, okay? Go through your textbook, underline those points that you have doubts on, and try to get it clarified from your teacher or from your elders also. So with that, we have come to the end. Thank you for tuning in, and stay safe.